Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're exploring a profound, often totally misunderstood, and honestly just deeply beautiful experience that we call mental time travel. Yep, we are diving right into the neuroscience of nostalgia.
So tell me if this has ever happened to you. You're just going about your day, firmly anchored in the present, right? And then suddenly, bam! You experience this entirely involuntary leap through time. You are completely transported to a totally different era of your life. And the crazy thing is, the trigger can be literally anything. It might be, the opening chords of a familiar melody that used to play on the radio back in high school, and that instantly lights up your auditory cortex and links straight to your emotional centers. Or maybe it's a forgotten scent, like the smell of rain on hot pavement or a specific brand of perfume. And there's a reason for that. Our olfactory bulb has this direct neurological superhighway straight to the amygdala and the hippocampus, which are basically the brain's emotional and memory centers. So a simple scent can make these long-forgotten chapters and faded feelings just come alive again in mere seconds. It's wild.
But all of this really raises an incredibly profound question. Why do we humans even feel nostalgia in the first place? Like, why has evolution wired our brains to look back on the past with such powerful, visceral motions? And perhaps the most intriguing mystery of all, why do certain moments seem vastly more beautiful in our memories than they actually did when we were living through them in real time? I mean, is our memory just glitching out, or is there some deeper, life-sustaining purpose to all this longing? Okay, let's unpack this, because for centuries, nostalgia was deeply, deeply misunderstood. Fun fact, the term itself was actually coined back in the late 17th century by a Swiss physician, and he used it to describe what he thought was an actual neurological disease. He was observing this severe homesickness among deployed soldiers. And for a really long time after that, psychology treated nostalgia as a sign of weakness. They thought it was this stagnant inability to move forward, or even a dangerous retreat from reality. But today, well, modern science has ushered in a massive paradigm shift. Neuroscientists and psychologists now recognize that nostalgia is absolutely not a memory flaw, and it's definitely not a disease. It's actually a highly evolved, totally natural function of the human brain. It serves as a really vital emotional resource. And research backs this up. It shows that nostalgia isn't just some random quirk, it's a highly targeted psychological response. It overwhelmingly shows up during times of stress, transition, or isolation. Think about it. Moving to a completely new, unfamiliar city, going through a really painful breakup, starting a daunting new chapter of life, or maybe just feeling a deep sense of loneliness. During these turbulent moments when the present feels, shaky or uncertain, your brain actively reaches into its archives. It acts almost like a psychological immune system. It revisits these familiar, emotionally warm memories to basically serve as an anchor. It's your brain's way of reminding you that you belong somewhere, that you matter to someone, and that you're part of a story that is much, much larger and more stable than whatever difficulty you're facing right now. Which brings us to this absolutely fascinating concept known as rosy retrospection. Now, one of the most incredible discoveries about human memory is that our brains do not function like video cameras. They aren't just hitting record and capturing everything with objective, perfect fidelity. Not at all. Instead, the brain is way more like a highly selective museum curator. It actively highlights the memories that carry deep emotional significance, while it kind of gradually fades or softens the mundane, stressful, or negative details. And this is actually an adaptive evolutionary trait. We literally remember the past more fondly than it actually was, because holding on to that emotional warmth serves our survival and, honestly, our sanity far better than holding on to cold, objective, and often stressful facts. Let's put this into perspective with something most of us can relate to, our school years. If you really think back, the daily reality of school was probably filled with stress, uncertainty, endless exams, early morning deadlines, just a lot of anxiety about the future. It was a rapid-fire, exhausting reality. But years later, what actually survives in your memory? Usually, it's the sound of your friends laughing in the hallway. It's that profound feeling of belonging to a group. The quiet, meaningful little moments. Your brain isn't lying to you here. It's simply prioritizing emotional significance over perfect historical accuracy. It basically filters out the noise to leave you with the music. And when you recall these positive, deeply meaningful memories, you aren't just sitting back watching an old movie in your head. You are triggering a very real physiological cascade in your body. Recalling positive memories actively lights up the brain regions associated with safety, social connection, and emotional well-being. So nostalgia essentially acts as a neurological comfort blanket. When the external world feels cold or harsh, your brain generates its own internal heat by leveraging your autobiographical memory. It's a built-in coping mechanism,
perfectly designed to regulate your nervous system and help restore your emotional equilibrium. And the benefits are very real. According to studies on emotional health, engaging in moderate levels of nostalgia totally doesn't trap you in the past. It actually propels you forward. People who regularly experience nostalgia report feeling significantly less lonely. They show much higher levels of optimism about the future, and, maybe most importantly, they feel more deeply connected to the overall meaning of their lives. So the past, kind of paradoxically, becomes this active, vital source of strength and resilience. It's literally fuel for navigating our present and shaping our future. All of this leads us to a really profound, almost philosophical realization. And it's this: we do not actually remember the past itself. We remember our reconstruction of it. Just let that sink in for a second. This is pretty much the intellectual climax of our understanding of memory. Because every single time you revisit a memory, you are not pulling a pristine, untouched file from some mental filing cabinet. You are actively recreating that memory in real time. And because you're recreating it right now, in the present, that memory is inevitably colored by your current mood, your current knowledge, and your current identity. Consider how this reconstructive process builds across an entire lifetime. Let's say a really significant event happens when you're 20 years old, okay? Now, when you look back at that exact same event at age 40, the memory has evolved. It takes on an entirely new meaning because, well, you now have 20 years of additional life experience providing context. And by the time you're 60, looking back at that same 20-year-old memory is going to reveal an even deeper, perhaps more forgiving or philosophical understanding. The historical facts of the memory, they remain exactly the same, but we do not. We change, and therefore our past changes right along with us. This beautifully reconstructive nature of memory totally explains why a simple object, like a faded photograph or a random song on the radio, can just completely overwhelm us with emotion. When we look at these artifacts, we aren't just seeing a sterile record of an event. We are briefly, magically interacting with the younger versions of ourselves. We're touching the dreams we once carried, back before life altered our path. We're reconnecting with the people we deeply loved, some of whom might not even be with us anymore. We're reviewing the hard-earned lessons we learned. Nostalgia is essentially the ultimate mirror of our autobiographical journey. It shows us the roads that shaped our lives. So if we look at nostalgia through this deeper, much more informed lens, we realize a really profound truth. Nostalgia is not about wanting to return to the past at all. It's really not a desire to rewind the clock. Rather, it's about maintaining a vital, unbroken connection to the journey that created the complex, amazing person you are today. It allows you to honor the people who entered your life, the places you once called home, and the chapters that have beautifully concluded. Because even though those moments are gone, they are permanently etched into the architecture of your identity. So, the next time that old song plays and makes you smile, or a faded photograph brings unexpected tears to your eyes, just remember, it is not the past trying to pull you backward. It is your own mind offering you a profound moment of grace. It's gently whispering, "Look how far you have come." It's this beautiful, emotionally healing reminder that nothing is ever truly lost. Everything you have experienced, every joy, every heartbreak, and literally every single version of yourself you have ever been, still lives securely right there inside of you. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to really reflect on today. What is one memory that instantly brings you a feeling of nostalgia? You know, is it a song that captures a specific summer? Is it a place you haven't been back to in decades? Or maybe a person whose impact on you will literally last a lifetime? Take a moment today to truly appreciate that memory and the version of you that lived it. And hey, if you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of the human mind, be sure to subscribe to our Explainer series, because sometimes understanding exactly who we are today really does begin by understanding the memories that shaped us. Thanks so much for joining us, and keep exploring.